You are listening to the Whole Boss Podcast. I'm your host, Latrice Folks Jones. I help female entrepreneurs build their businesses holistically with systems while loving themselves more each day. Juggling family, business, your health, and well-being is not always easy, but it's possible. The Whole Boss Podcast is a healthy blend of holistic living, entrepreneurship, personal development, and realness to keep you moving forward in your life and business. Hey, on today's episode, we are welcoming the extraordinary Kimbi Tiez. She is a licensed masseuse and yoga instructor. So she is a strong part of the healing arts, and now she is healing us with her voice. So let's welcome her to the podcast. Woo! So let me get my little spiel. So welcome to episode 9 of the Whole Boss Podcast, helping female entrepreneurs have more wealth, health, and optimized living every day in their life and business. If we are just meeting for the first time, I'm Latrice Folks Jones, your biz nurturer, helping you to take care of your business while taking care of yourself. So yes, oh my gosh. So my first episode was my daughter and talking about her story. And now here is my sister from another mister, Kimbi Tiez. We have so much history. We're going to talk a little bit about that, as well too. But we're just going to have a conversation and talk about some real life stuff. And I want to make sure that we get to know more about this beautiful being because she is so talented and has so much wisdom and stuff that she can tell us. So let's get to it. Hey, Kimbi.
Hey.
How you doing?
I am doing good, girl. It's so good to be here. Number 9, that's a good number
I
for the podcast.
know. Come through with the numerology.
Hello.
Yes, come through with that numerology. Yeah, but that's what's up. Okay, so, today I just wanted to talk a little bit about your journey, how we got here, talking about how we got here now, because you have had a journey. So you've done many things. You didn't even start with the healing arts. So what is your degree in? Where did you start?
Oh, Lord. So my background is in fashion. So I'm a pattern maker at heart and in the deep, 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 deep depths of my soul. So I started in the fashion industry. I did that for a few years in New York, made menswear, made women's skirts for a little boutique in New York, in Brooklyn, New York, called
Hey,
Triangle Fresh
Brooklyn.
back in the day.
But
Yeah.
tell.
So that's but from my grandmama and them and all the women in my family, so fashion has always been in my blood, so gotta look good.
Yes. Your
Good.
grandma is so fly too. How old is your grandma now? Because she don't look a day over 35, huh?
91 years
Oh my
old.
gosh. And she is
90
still fly at 91, honey.
years
Yes, I love it. I love it. Yes. Okay. So you started off in fashion. So how did you get into the healing arts and yoga and massage and all that kind of stuff? Because that's part of the journey. How'd you get there?
right? It's like how'd you get from that to that? So basically, being in New York and being blessed to be exposed to just so many different, just pretty much everything in New York.
Mhm.
So it's like whatever you want to know, whatever you want to learn, you can learn it in New York. So when I was in FIT, that's where I went to school, and I took up Tai Chi. And
Mm.
my teacher, he was actually one of the students of like one of these like great Shaolin, like the last Shaolin,
Oh
like
wow.
monks, like
Wu-Tang.
so by going deep into that, and I got really heavy into Tai Chi. And my mom was always a kind of weird,
Mm.
esoteric before her time, uh,
Wow.
hippie slash
Mm.
black in her former life type thing going on. So
Yes.
she practiced meditation. So I was always exposed to, just
Mm.
other things. And so as I got older and was in college, it just started just being something I was naturally drawn to. And so through the Tai Chi, that's how I got more into yoga. And then just taking my first yoga class. This place that used to be it was like a private house, Shivananda Yoga Center.
Mm.
That's one of like the first yoga centers back in the day. that was started by one of the Indian yogis, back in the, I guess, 60s or something, when he came
Wow.
over here. So I studied all forms of yoga as just a way to de-stress and just living in New York, for anybody that's lived in the city or heard anything about living in the city, it's real,
Yes.
as far as,
Yes.
constant
Go,
movement.
go, 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 go.
So it's a different atmosphere, concrete jungle, pollution, yellow cabs, garbage, the smell
Stress.
of garbage, it's just plus pros and cons.
Yeah.
So taking yoga, taking soft forms of yoga to getting into even more disciplined military like styles of yoga. I took Ashtanga yoga, and that's a more rigorous type yoga. And so I just dove into all of these things, and it just became part of my life, and
Yes.
that was back in 19 blah blah blah.
Girl, you are we be talking about these young whippersnappers. They ain't got nothing on the history we got in this here game. We've been doing this
Been there,
20
done
years
that.
plus. We've
Been
been
there,
doing
done
it.
that.
Okay. Yes.
From the
Yes.
beginning, when it wasn't options, that have
Facts.
all the options now. We
Right.
had one yoga center, soy milk, rice milk, tofu. That's it.
That's how I said when I started being a vegan like 25 years ago. We ain't have all this. You know what I'm saying? I ain't have a choice but to eat good on vegan. Like now they be
Exactly.
talking about unhealthy vegans and stuff because you eating all this junk food. Look, all I ate was sprouts and carrots and kale and all that kind of stuff, back collard greens back in the day. But
No,
yeah, so
it's like they a spoiled bunch. They
oh,
really are.
absolutely.
They're
Absolutely.
privileged vegans now.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
we
Yeah, my
we don't have
children
that
are
privilege
different.
this
They
way.
have so many more options now. They got so many options. But that's what's up. Oh, that's such an interesting story. We done talked about everything. So I know parts of your story and stuff, but there was still more things that I just learned about you right now. I thought I knew you knew you. Okay, we're gonna have to chat about this stuff. We be talking about real stuff and what's going on with our daily life and love life and all that kind of stuff, and all of that. But yeah, we have to get a little bit deeper. So that's very interesting. Okay, so like living in the city, you transition more into the yoga through the Tai Chi and all that kind of stuff and the healing arts and so it ties really well into you becoming an artist. So like, how did we get here? Singer extraordinary. First of all, I didn't even know you could sing when we first met. And we're gonna talk a little bit about our story of how we met because we knew like instantly we were like sisters when we
Yeah.
met. Okay. And but yeah, I didn't know you could sing. And then all of a sudden, I think it was on one of them poems, you started whipping out them vocals and all that kind of stuff. I was like, so how we get to the singing? I know a little bit, but let tell the
Well,
audience how
I
we get.
mean, and like I've told the story before, it's like my mother didn't even know that I sung. So my background, once again, just a product of my environment and everything that I've been exposed to. So my mom's side of the family, that's the musicians, the musical artists, the singers. So my mom was in a band back in the 70s called Freedom, where they used to rock out back in the day, at the park
I
and
can see that. I can see your mama being in a band called
oh,
Freedom.
she, come on now,
I can see it. I can see
mom
it.
was not, she has no problem being in the front.
Yes, yes.
You gonna know some Tammy. You gonna know some. But so yeah, like all my godfathers are musicians that were on the band. My godmother,
Mm.
was on the band. My grandmother, she was the church pianist for over 50, 60 years. She played
Wow.
piano.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's your blood. Music's in
Yeah.
your blood. It's in
You
your
know,
bloodline.
my aunt, she plays the piano and the trumpet, and that's actually how I learned to sing. And I was just telling somebody this yesterday.
Mhm.
The first time I learned a song was when my aunt, she would get the music, the sheet music, and she would learn to play it on the piano, and then she would feed me the lines to the song.
Mm.
So on like in my grandmother's den, the little fireplace on the little platform, I would stand there, and that was my first stage, really, in my grandmother's,
Wow.
the dining area, and my aunt, and the first song I learned was "And I Am Telling You."
Oh gosh, I am telling you. Why I could see you standing there like Cardi's picture of her as a little girl. Why do I feel
Yeah,
like that is like you,
that's
bohemian
what,
you
and I
back in the
remember
day?
that to this day. But that's how I learned songs, that because she would feed me a line. She would like, "And I am telling," and I would sing, with my big
Wow.
old skinny self.
Yes,
But
yes.
but the funny thing is, when I moved to New York, because like born and bred in the South, right? But buttered and jellied in New York. So I
Yeah.
was about 7 when we moved to New York. That part of me was quiet, if
Mm.
you will. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
I that was my personal thing. I would only sing to my stuffed animals in my room. And if I heard,
Wow.
the key coming through the door, and that tells the times that we grew up when when people
Latchkey.
could and I would hear the key coming through the door, and then I would stop singing. But I had my white brush, that was my microphone.
Wow.
So when it came time to pick a high school, and back then you could pick whatever high school you wanted to go to or try out for.
Yeah.
So I tried out for, I took the test for Bronx Science, for the art schools, and
Yes.
then I tried out for this LaGuardia, which is what
Okay. Yeah,
Fame,
LaGuardia.
right? Yeah. So I went into that for art, music, and dance. So my mom, she's taking me to all these schools, Saturday morning to take these tests and everything. And then when it came time to do the singing, she was like, "Sing, like you gonna sing?"
Really?
She said, "What you gonna sing?" And I was like, "Visions of Love, Mariah Carey." And she's
Oh,
like,
shucks.
because that was a song
Yes.
back then.
Yes. Yes. That's telling when that
Yeah.
was.
And she was like, okay. That's when my family, or my mom started knowing and
Found out.
stuff. I didn't get into that school because I failed the dancing part because I laughed. Because
Wow.
when we had to do the plie looking like frogs in the
Oh
mirror.
Lord.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, this is too stupid. I can't take
This
I was
fake.
like,
I
I'm
can't
too
do this.
silly.
Some fake stuff.
I'm too
Look,
silly
if
to
they
be
got me
looking like
doing the
a
Cabbage
frog.
Patch or the Whop or something like, I could take that
I'm
seriously, but
like,
all that. Right. Right.
and they talk about some.
I know.
I mean, and we all little skinny frog looking things. I was like, y'all don't see this. This is funny.
I
Yeah,
know.
they threw me out. The woman, she threw me out. She was like mad, mad serious about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That remind me of
So
my ballet teacher when I was little. She had heavy hands and stuff. I did not last very long. I quit like early. I was like, Ma, she hurt me, because she
oh
would
no.
take your little legs, your little skinny legs. Wait a minute. Hold on. Yeah. They take it seriously now. They serious on that
You
damn
know
thing.
what? That's actually how I ended up. So from there, I had a choice between some other schools, and the school I picked was fashion industries. So that
Wow.
further how I ended up in fashion
Doing fashion.
industry from high school to college. That's fashion, learning, how to sew, how to do menswear, how to do fashion shows. That was my life for
You're a
8 plus.
creative at heart, so because everything basically is like been very creative. So you're a creative at heart.
Yeah.
Okay, I love
From I get it from my mom and them.
it. Yes, I get it from my mama.
Get
Yes.
it from my mom and them.
I love that. Okay, so the gift of singing, but what really made it came out? Because like what made the singing come out? I remember the first time that I heard you sing, it was like a poem that you made, and then you started singing on the poem. I was like, oh shucks. So that poetry and stuff, which is something else creative because I didn't even know, but you got up there spitting them poems and stuff. I was like, oh, look at sis. Oh So that was like a good part of our years and stuff, like the poetry scene here and things like that. But that's when I first heard you sing. But I really wanted to talk to you as well of like what inspired this second, third, fourth coming of like being the artist extraordinaire, Kimbi Tiez. You know what I'm saying? Because like where did that come from? Because you sing with so much passion and stuff, and I really feel that your singing is healing, and the things that you're singing about, I peep your story coming through on these daggone songs. So like what really inspired you and motivated just to put it all out there, especially now?
Right. So really through the poetry,
Mm,
that because I always was a writer from
yeah.
fourth grade. I
Mm,
always wrote creative stories. And so I've always had piles of books of stories, And then when I started sharing the poetry, and it was through being a yoga instructor, that's what helped me find my voice and my confidence to speak in front of
mm.
people by being a teacher, a yoga teacher.
Right.
And because in the yoga class, the training that I took, we would always have to like open up the classes with like a form of chanting or a prayer or something like that
Right.
too.
Right.
So it's like it's just been like little things
Right.
like that from, back in the day that was just always building me up. And then once we started, going to the poetry open mics, and getting
Mhm.
on stage and then finding my voice that way. And the more I did that writing, the more stuff came out, and so it's just like it got stronger and stronger. And the singing part for me on that level, it was always so personal because, like I said, I
Mm.
always hid it, from my family
Yeah.
because it was the most vulnerable that I could get.
Yes.
And the most transparent that I could get. And so I hadn't reached that point where I wanted to share that with
Right.
the world until the poetry, hit. And so it's just like it naturally flowed together. And so through just living life, through trials and tribulations, good times, bad times,
Right.
heartbreaks, betrayals, finding myself, self discovery, meditation, prayer,
Mm.
just rediscovering myself,
Right.
just all of that, and just time and age and everything, wisdom, and just things just hit you. And then of
Yeah.
course other people and their reactions. Like I
Right.
always say, God has a funny way of letting you know that he or she exists by coming through other people. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
So when like talking to you, talking to family members, seeing those people that would be touched by a poem or touched by a little piece of whatever that, I would give on stage or wherever they'd see me performing or something, it further, affirmed and pulled stuff out of me. And
Mhm.
it was like, okay, just keep getting this out, getting this out, getting this out. So that brings me to, my current times, just everything in the world just hit, So with being a teacher and a massage therapist, where that was my main thing, to touch people.
Right.
And I went through a bad car accident. Well,
Yeah. Yeah.
so was it 2016?
Mm.
um and through going through that, as well as going through divorce and separation and finding myself
Right.
losing my home, losing my car,
Yeah.
not working, all of this stuff, and just really being at a down point in my life where
Yeah.
I just wanted to give up. I
Yeah.
wanted to give up. I wanted to really not be here. I was in a dark, dark place.
Yeah.
But through God, the creator, working
Yeah.
through my friends and my
Yeah.
family, it pulled me up. Like y'all reminded me, like, girl, what you doing?
I
like,
know.
like if you don't get up, like
Know who
what you
you are, because you the
okay, like I
mom. Back
understand you're
up.
not going through this. I
Yeah.
understand you have migraines,
Yeah.
every day. I understand you this. I understand you lost this, you lost that. but being a mother, of a son, after losing a son,
Oh,
so just
right.
all these
Oh,
constant reminders in
yeah.
my life can be keep going. You're here for a reason.
Going.
It's a
Yeah.
whole lot more life to live. Having a grandmother, that's dang near a centurion,
Right.
and
Right.
talking to her, I always say she's my guru. She is my guru
Yes.
because she lets me know, and having conversations with her, just how much of a baby we still are
Right.
in this
Right.
life.
That's such a
Like
blessing.
we have a lot more life to live. A
That's
lot.
such a blessing. And yeah, it's to have those wisdom things that we could like just feed into, because I'm blessed to have my grandmother here too. And them
Right.
stories, honey, them stories are things that they've been through back in the day. But it's just like you just be sitting at their feet and it just helps you. First of all, you're not going through this alone. Second of all, you have that wisdom to tap into to help you through these hard times, because shit gets real. You know what I'm saying? It
Real,
gets real, real. You know what I'm saying?
real,
Life ain't
for
no
real,
joke.
for
You know
real.
what I'm saying? It's not no, it ain't no joke. So having that kind of helps to pull us through. So just being very thankful to have that and have friends and stuff and people that love you, like when we're going through those tough spots in life. And you got your gift as well too, because singing and help bring you through it. And we can feel it so much. We can feel it so much in your songs. And like if anybody ever went through heartbreak, or if they went through these things or lost everything or any of that, you can listen to your songs and it's like a healing. It just automatically make you feel calm and feel better and things like that. So yes, it's definitely a word, honey. It's a word. So yeah, so I'm so glad that you tapped into that, and I've been watching you progress and grow and do your thing. I've been seeing you out here grinding and stuff like that. So
Yes.
I love it. I love it. I am your cheerleader. I love it. Yeah. So I just
So
wanted,
get into the roots. That's
yeah.
what everything, like, from where I started, it was just everything brought me back to my roots.
Oh,
And so
yes.
the roots were the music. The roots were the healing, because
Yeah.
that runs in my family,
Mm,
with other things, like my great great grandmother was a seer and a psychic. And
mm.
I had another grandmother on my dad's side, where she was in touch with nature and, building her own house from scratch,
Yes.
type thing. So I just really started. The funny thing is, when you're in those places where you think it's no return, or you're like, oh, why me? Oh Lord, why?
Woe
All
is
that,
me, Lord.
you know, it's like,
Why? Why?
ah,
Why? Look,
damn,
Lord Atlas,
damn, damn.
damn, damn.
But like real talk, in those spaces is where you start to hear those messages. Is
Yes.
they start to talk to you, and where they remind you who you are, where you come from, what's carrying you through the next day. And they got stronger, they got more clear, they got more concise, where my direction and my path was like very like, okay, this is what you're supposed to do. It's like when you're younger, whatever, your 20s. I mean, some 20-year-olds got it all together these days.
Apparently, like my daughter, she
I
halfway.
know, that's what
I'm
I'm
like,
saying.
whoa, you
It's
sure are
like,
doing some
it's
good
like,
things. I
God, show
wasn't
us
shit
your
when I
ways.
was your
Like,
age.
but some of us, it takes a little longer.
Right, fact.
We have to
Fact.
go through some things in order to
Yes,
discover our path. And
yes,
that's the thing though too, what you said, just about new chapters and just rediscovering ourselves, and it
mm,
being okay to start over
yeah,
again
it's
and
definitely okay.
again. And you can start over as many times you want.
At
You know,
any
and not
age, at any age,
word.
you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You can do that. You can do it.
Not
So,
pressured, not be pressured. It's like, as long as you got breath flowing in your lungs, just go, just do,
yeah,
whatever your heart's desire, whatever's in you. And a lot of times we go throughout life being unhappy because we ignore that calling, or we ignore our
mhm.
heart song. We
Ah,
ignore that thing that brings us joy, that things that bring smiles, or peace to us. We ignore it because we get caught as we age into the day to day, 9 to 5, I mean,
hustle,
which is good, but it's like if you just stay in that like a robot, your soul is still crying,
Right,
right? Your
right,
soul,
right,
your spirit is screaming, is crying. That's why you depressed. That's why you decide. That's why you sad. That's why you you uneasy or feel incomplete because you're not listening to that deep within. You're not listening, and we
right.
get used to not listening.
Yeah.
And I just decided I don't want to go throughout my entire life, till I'm in my 90s,
Right.
where I
Wishing
didn't
woulda, coulda, shoulda. You know what I'm saying? I should have
exactly
followed my dreams. I
right,
should have did this. I should have did that. Yeah.
right.
Yeah. So you
So
living life out loud right in front of us, huh? Going for them dreams. I'm so proud of you. So
might as
inspirational.
well,
Huh?
might as well,
Yeah,
might
like
as
why not? Really? I mean, that's what it really comes to. Why
well.
not? Especially in 2021, after all that has happened.
Exactly,
Why the hell not?
exactly,
You know what I'm saying? You might as
exactly.
well.
That was a big one,
Yeah.
You know what? Many of us have lost people, close to us. I've lost two family members, within, well, since last year,
Yeah. Yeah.
to recently a few weeks ago.
Mm.
So it's just like why are we going around pretending, why are we going around pretending we're somebody we're not? Why are you trying to live a life that's not the life you want to live? Why are you going pretending to, just be these things that just for labels or just for outside looks?
Right.
So if
Fronting.
it didn't exactly. So it's like if
Yeah.
it didn't teach us anything, if you haven't figured some stuff out about yourself in this whole panorama, pan
The
pizza,
panorama.
if you
Yes.
haven't figured yourself out in this whole
Yeah.
world of the pan pizza, you
Right.
you know you one of the people that didn't sit down and listen.
Yeah,
No,
absolutely.
like
Yeah,
real
definitely
talk.
learned some things. Definitely learned some things and saw some things, and it changed a lot of things. I don't think anything will ever be like the same, and that
Yeah,
may be a good thing. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right.
So but that's what's up. So let's talk about some of those challenges. Let's talk about you like pursuing this dream, and this is a big dream. With having, children and being a single mom at this point, of a fourth grader that basically you're homeschooling because they got all the kids at the house, honey. How do you get this thing? Because I see you grinding, I see you posting, you're doing content, you're putting out these beautiful visuals. So you're making these videos for these songs that you're releasing. You got a full album done, you recorded, you doing it, honey. You are doing it and you are going for the dream and you looking beautiful while you do it, honey. So let's talk about that. So what are the challenges and how are you kind of overcoming? Because I know it's not no like, oh, I'm I, you got to do what you got to do. I'm sure that it's tough. It's rough. You know what I'm saying? It's rough. So how are you making it through it?
So the challenge has been, well, it's been testing. It's been very interesting. The good thing about it is just being the mother of a 9-year old, going through third and now fourth grade in the virtual schooling world
Yeah.
is where I was able to really get a chance to see how my son learns, like what's good for him, what's not good for him,
Mhm.
his weaknesses, his strengths, and how to just convert them to make it. So he's a successful student in the virtual world.
Right, right.
Um, it's been difficult. It's been difficult because it is virtual, and he, as well as I know a lot of other kids, where they need that class setting or
Yeah.
in social setting, just that element. And it's been very rough, very challenging. So it's like we've had, like times where like, okay, good, everything's flowing, but then times where it's like, okay, both of us are feeling tight. The energy is just like,
Right.
so he gets frustrated and I'm trying not to get frustrated and I'm getting frustrated and he's getting frustrated. And then I'm like, you know what? Let's just go to the park. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yes.
But let's just say going into fifth grade, hoping that things will be different in another way, and to where I can send him to
Right.
school
Right.
again.
Right.
But it was a hard decision, and we talked as a family to
Yeah.
decide, well, what's the right thing to do, and
Right.
nobody knew.
Right.
Nobody had a definite answer. Well, this is this because of this. Everybody was just really guessing, throughout this whole thing,
Yeah.
as we still are. So we just did the best with what we could and just knew it was about.
You making it. You're making it. It's definitely not easy. And
Mm-mm.
I know it made a lot of people realize we need to pay these teachers more. Why are we not paying the daggone teachers, honey? We need them to like pay the teachers, okay?
So, like, I mean, I always thought that was very off, like,
Right.
even way back in the day, like, why are people that are, very instrumental in our education, in our
Mm,
future, with what we're doing, they help mold us, mold our minds, and why are they not paid more?
right. Right.
I don't get it. That makes no sense,
Yeah.
and it's hard. I know for them, and you really have to be a special person,
Yeah,
to
to
do
deal with
that.
that. Yeah.
Because even
Yeah.
with being a yoga instructor, I don't have that skill to deal with. I'm just trying to work with one. That's mine.
Yes, and just thinking about a whole bunch of different other personalities from a different households, from all type of different things, and
That's a different
it's
level.
it's a lot, I'm sure. So we do need to take more
So
consideration of
shout
those.
out for real to those because it's like
Yeah,
teaching
definitely.
to at Zen school, like really shout out to those
Shout
teachers
out.
that are really in it and they really care.
Yes, yes,
um we gonna focus on those type because there's
yes.
others that don't
Get some
care.
other
But
ones
for the
too.
ones that really put an effort towards and they really care,
Yeah,
shout out to them and their patience and
yeah,
endurance. Like for
yeah,
real, I've always appreciated you.
mhm,
I've always appreciated you, you
yeah.
know even more so now. So we just gonna see how what the future holds with all that.
But it's a
But
blessing too, because just like you were saying, how you got to see his learning styles and stuff like that, things that we didn't know. And sometimes they go through the school system and they're not getting what they
right,
need because people are not identifying it. So like this kind of helped as well too, so that we can know how to move and stuff and see what's going on. Yeah. So
it was a good one-on-one, certain things where he needed that one-on-one attention and I could really be hands-on. But
absolutely,
like now, he thinks he's grown and stuff, so he'll be like, "Oh, mommy, I got it.
I
I
got
got
it.
it. I understand.
Yes,
I got okay,
good,
okay."
good.
So what good thing too, it's really taught him to tap into learning how to be more independent and
Hmm.
self-sufficient. His schoolwork too.
Yeah.
So that's been interesting to see, how
Uh-huh.
that's working compared to when it had just started last
Right.
year.
Right.
So we've been adapting, we
That's
just
what
been
we do.
adapting.
We ain't got no choice really, actually, but
Right. So,
Okay.
but with that challenge, with okay, being mother
Mhm.
and making she was okay, because if he's not going to be okay, I'm not going to be okay.
Right, right.
So I had to make sure he was straight. And then
Yeah.
creatively, those creative juices on my end was able to, do what I needed to do.
When he was
With
okay.
it.
And before he was
Right,
okay, you got to make sure you're okay because you got to take care of yourself so
right.
that you can have the energy to do all that you need to do and take care of your family and be able to add those extra things. So, what have you been doing for self care, Mrs. Kimby? What have you been doing to take care of
So
yourself?
honestly, there are times where I was depleted
Hmm.
and I had nothing, where I was worn out, I was burnt out, I was tired. So once again, those times where you hit, bottom, but the thing is, do you stay there? Do you stay at the
Right.
bottom? Do you stay there?
Yes.
And you can stay there. Okay. The next day comes. So, okay, let's get out of that. So my personal practice, I went in hard,
Yeah.
especially with my meditation.
Okay.
I had to go in hard with my meditation practice. I got more into incorporating sound healing,
Mm.
with my crystal singing bowls,
Oh
that I
yeah.
do. And, I do like some videos or do like some sessions in the park,
Yeah.
like that.
I went, that is very healing. That is
Yeah.
very healing.
So like really getting into, and that was another thing too, with where I couldn't touch people and be so hands on as I usually was in my classes. So going to, once again, the root. So just going to
Mhm.
sound healing. So it's like, okay, I can get to you, or help you heal yourself through what I've learned through sound healing and the different notes and how they
Mm.
correspond to the different chakras, the different
Ooh.
energy systems, and how that affects our nervous system and how that affects our whole being,
Yes.
and just for us to get through and function, it's all connected. It's all connected.
All connected.
So just really digging into that, for myself, journaling.
Mm.
Just I have to write it down.
Yeah.
I had to do my to-do list, morning and night. It's like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do in the
Mhm.
morning. Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. you know, and labeling my water. I've been doing a
Oh.
lot of that.
Oh, really? I
Uh,
haven't done that in years. I probably should
yeah,
start that again. I got my little bottle. It already got like little markings on it, so I could
yeah.
probably add my own little stuff on there. So you put like energetic things, on there so that you can
So
drink.
I just wrote because what I ended up doing, and it actually was through talking as I'm, teaching my son,
Mhm.
life. It reminds me of things.
Yes.
So, he was upset about something, in his one of his lessons or something, and he got really angry. And so him being angry, I was like, you're not able to take stuff in, if all that energy is focused on, just anger or frustration.
Right.
So I showed him, told him about how we're made up of water, and
Mhm.
I always tell him you are what you think. And so I showed him the Dr. Emoto, the water, right, experiment,
Yes.
where, you ever seen that? The Dr. Emoto,
I've
where he
heard
did,
of it years ago, but I
yeah,
can't
yeah, yeah.
remember if I even seen it. But I
And
have to, yeah, send me the link. It's a YouTube video or no?
I think it was from that movie. Was it What the Bleep or Down the Rabbit Hole? It was something a
One of
long time
them.
ago.
Oh yeah, I'll
But
look it up.
where they got into that, but it was just something that once again, like I learned through yoga and just through
Mhm.
life
Mhm.
experiences and
Mhm.
stuff. But where he did the experiment with the water, where they had like a glass of water, and so they played different music,
Mhm.
to these different glasses of water, and then under a certain kind of microscope you could see the water would crystallize.
Yes.
And if it was like classical or soft music, or saying I love you, I'm grateful, I'm thankful,
Right. Right.
that these water crystals, it crystallized into like beautiful geometric patterns,
Mm.
like snowflakes or like flowers, or
Yeah.
like beautiful. But if it you said like harsh words to them, or played like, you know uneven, like kind of heavy, crazy music or
Right.
something, that sound that distorted the water crystals, and
Mm.
it like even darkened them and misshapen them and stuff like that.
That's great.
So with reminding him to do that,
Yeah.
but you know what I'm saying? So I was like, so with that, I started writing on a piece of paper. I'll write love, and I have like just random piece of brown paper, that I just started writing with a purple marker,
Yeah.
and I wrote love, or I write I am thankful, or I am
Mhm.
worthy, or I am
Yes.
abundant, or I will have this new house, or I'm thankful
Woo!
for this.
Yeah.
And so every now and then, when I just kind of feel it, I pick up a piece of paper, and then I just tape it on the glass of water, and I'll leave it, overnight, or, I'll just leave it there. I'm
Right.
like, just infuse this,
Right.
you know,
Infuse
and then
this
I'll go
energy.
back
Yes.
and I'll drink it. So that water therapy,
Yes.
sound therapy,
Mm.
the meditation, and also being more open, and
Mm.
by doing more content and getting my voice more out into
Yes.
to you guys,
Yes.
that has been another thing for me to push myself out of my comfort zone.
Right. Right. Yes.
I've always been a me not as an introvert, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, no, I'll stay over here,
Yeah.
my business. you
Mind
know,
my business. I mean, I'm kind of like
yeah,
that too. I'm out there. I push myself out there,
right.
but yeah. But in general, I don't know. There's not. Well, there's a few people who's like really extroverts, but yeah, a lot of us are really introverts. But we, push ourselves out of our comfort level because there are people that we need to reach. There's people who need to hear
Yeah,
what we got to say right now. People who need to hear your voice right
right.
now. So yeah, we
Yeah.
got to. Yeah.
Exactly. So that was the thing, when people, just random from men to women, whatever the age range, from different parts of the world, that's like reaching out, telling me, oh, they saw this song, or oh, they saw this video, or oh, you were talking to me, and I'm like,
Mhm.
okay. So it's just once again confirmation, okay, keep doing what you're
Keep
doing.
doing
Stay
it.
on
Yes.
that.
Keep on going. Keep
That's what
on
I'm
going.
doing. That's what
Yes.
I'm
So let's
doing.
talk about this album and then I'm going to let you go. So this album coming out from the heart, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So
So tell us about that.
so I completed recording the album from the heart, and so it's a total of about 12 tracks with some interludes in them. And so when I finished it last year, so instead of releasing the whole thing to the world yet, I'm just releasing, one single at a time, till I get enough people that tell me, okay, we want the whole thing.
So
But
let her know. Be like, quit piecing us out. Give us the
yeah,
whole
so it's like,
thing, the
no,
whole
you,
meal.
what is it like it's a 5 course or 8 course,
Yes.
whatever the most
Yes.
extravagant
Yes.
meal. That's
Yes.
what I'm giving y'all. I'm like, and
Hey,
today's menu we have,
right.
you
I
know,
love it.
so that's what I've just been able to, and just having a great team of people and just great supporters behind me, that's helping me get this vision across,
Hmm.
to just letting you know my style of music and everything and the stories, because some of them are personal, some of them are from life experiences, just what I've
Right.
gained from seeing from other people, but it has to be said or has to be
Yeah.
heard,
Yeah.
in different forms. So it's a little bit of soul, a little bit of jazz, a little bit of R&B, a little bit of blues, neo soul, gospel,
Yeah.
spoken word. So it's a culmination of music in all its forms and everything that I've grown up with.
Yeah.
Like what I said, from my upbringing to the stuff that I learned on my own, through the healing world and the healing arts. And so all of that combined, and you get Kimbi
Yes,
Tiez.
gumbo,
Yes,
like a gumbo
yes.
pot of all that stuff. Yes, I love it. Yes. Okay, okay. So we're exciting. So I know that I am, coming to an event. You're about to drop some of that hot fire this Friday.
Hot fire.
Friday coming. Yes.
Darling.
Right. Yeah, so tell them where they can find you, where they can hear your music, like what's going on this Friday. If you want to tell us anything else about that, because they should be exciting. We saw a sneak peek of visuals and it's already is deep, deep, deep. So you
Yeah.
definitely want to see that and be a part of that, So let us know what we need to know about this.
So coming up, is, well, you'll see two things happening this week. So you'll get part one, which is going to be a short prelude video with me and my son.
Mhm.
And that song is titled Hey World.
Hey, well,
And so you'll see that. I'm not going to spoil it for you.
yes,
So that's all going to be on YouTube, and you'll be able to get all this on Spotify and all the streaming platforms, iTunes, and everything. But definitely make sure you guys go to YouTube to see the video, and also on my Facebook and Instagram page. So like, follow, subscribe, share.
yes,
That's what people have to do. The young ones know to do that. So young
right,
ones, you know to do.
yes,
my,
yes.
my more mature golden audience,
Yeah, we got to do that.
like, subscribe, share. Listen
Yeah,
to the songs in its totality. When you listen to it on Spotify, listen to the whole song, add it to your playlist and
yes.
share it as well. So once again, when you hear the songs on Spotify, listen to the whole song on Spotify this week and next week, because these days coming up are going to be like important as far as like the algorithm, like how
Okay.
Spotify reads the playlist, like to
Yes.
see, okay, are these people listening to these people? So listen to the whole song, share it, add it to your playlist.
Mhm.
Hey World, the first song that's going to be out. And then part two is going to be Finding Beauty in Chaos, which will release this Friday evening. And I'm excited about that. And that's a very special song because it was shot at this very historic location where there are these former slave dwellings in Anderson, Moore Street slave dwellings. So it's a very powerful energy
Mm.
regarding the song itself and the visuals that you guys will see.
Yeah.
So once everybody sees all of that, comment, I'll probably do like some question and answer thing,
Yeah.
like to get even more in depth about the song, just to
Mhm.
dig deep, like some behind the scenes stuff too. Because it's a journey. It's a journey. So
Yeah.
I want you all guys to come with me, but it's a back and forth, so it's a reciprocal energy, because I feed off of what you guys give me,
Yeah.
and I give it back, so hopefully we'll just keep doing that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or that good positive healing energy. And so that's going to be this week. So just support, share, Hey World, and Finding Beauty in Chaos, and hit me up on all the social media. But on Spotify, make sure you share and add to your playlist. I'm excited.
All right, I'm excited too. And I'll put all her information inside of the show notes so you can find her website, kimbythegoddess.com, where you can find everywhere else to follow her there. But I'll put her Instagram and her YouTube underneath there as well too, so that you can follow her and support and listen to that healing music to help you through your rough times. And not only just that healing, but the beauty of the music is beautiful. Like this latest song is called Beauty from Chaos.
Finding Beauty in Chaos.
Yeah, finding beauty in chaos. There's some beautiful stuff coming out of all, the chaos. So it's not just like, whoa or anything. It's like beautiful music, and the beauty of the songs and her voice is gonna make you like feel really good. So it's gonna take you there. So make sure that you visit that and you see that, even if you're listening to this podcast, after the video has premiered, just visit her YouTube because she has several songs and several beautiful artistic visuals for you to check out. And she has a lot more to come. Okay. Anything else to give, especially because I speak to mostly female entrepreneurs, that will give them to like making those changes and going for your dreams, after so much has happened, like, just having the courage. Do you have any like words, some final words for them to let them know that, they can do that?
It's okay to not know.
Mm.
Don't be so hard on yourself if you're in a state or a place where you don't know what to do. Give yourself that moment and that time to be still. In that stillness, you'll hear, but you have to give yourself that time to just be okay with not knowing, be okay with not having the answers. Be still, ground yourself, root yourself, whatever that is for you, whether it's through dancing, through meditation, through working out, through walking, through gardening, through washing dishes, through vacuuming,
Yeah.
whatever that thing is for
Yeah.
you, that's your time. That's
Yeah.
your ultimate vacation. That's your ultimate where you will get all of the answers that you need, but don't try to force anything. Just let it happen and it'll happen. And deep down, you know what to do. You
Right.
know what to do and you know what you have to do. So the biggest thing I could say, do not get in your way.
Stay
Get
out
out
your
your
way.
own way.
Stay out your
Get out
way.
your own way.
Well, thank you so much, Kimby, for being a guest on the Whole Boss podcast. I appreciate you. I love you.
I love
And
it.
this has been such a blessing to anybody who listens to this. You know what I'm saying? Because it's gonna help. It's gonna really help. Yeah. So if you like this podcast, or if this podcast has helped you, please subscribe and like and share it with a friend. If you have any questions or want to chat about this episode or any other, then join us in the Whole Boss Tribe Facebook group. And until next time, peace.
Peace. Whole boss tribe.
Hey.
Gang, 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 gang.
Yes. All right. See you soon. If you're ready for more clarity in your business and to set it up to have more time, energy, and profit, then download my free Biz Starter Kit at wholeboss.com/starter kit.